This is the plaintiff, Lorraine McMillan. She says she's been living in her house since 1967, and the defendant, her neighbor, refuses to trim a damaged tree limb hanging over her property. The branch is very dangerous, could fall at any minute, and she's afraid it's going to hurt someone. She's suing for $250, the price it'll cost to cut the limb and remove it. This is the defendant, Calvin Carter. He says he's lived in his house for 37 years, thank you very much. And if his trees grow over the property line between him and his neighbor, it's his neighbor's duty to trim them if they bother her. He gave the plaintiff permission to trim the trees, but she's too cheap to do it and is now coming after him for the money. Good luck. He's accused of not trimming.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff says the defendant refuses to cut deadly tree limbs and it's threatening her property. But the defendant says it's her problem. It's the case of angry tree people.
Thank you, Douglas. Lorraine McMillan, you are suing Calvin Carter, your neighbor, for $250, a cost to remove some limbs that are hanging down from a tree that he owns. Tell me what happened.
Okay, on the day of Hurricane Sandy, left a limb hanging in my backyard.
Okay.
For months, I've been trying to contact him. I go around to his house, ring the doorbell, knock on the door. Lots of times I would see a car in the driveway, but nobody would never come to the door. So on June.
June? Wow.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Sandy was in October.
Yes.
End of October, so in June.
On June this year,
Okay.
June 18th, I decided to send him a letter.
Okay.
I didn't know his phone number at the time. So I mailed him.
He's your backdoor neighbor?
Yes.
Okay. And
So-
how long have the two of you lived there? How long have you lived there?
Since 1967.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
a long
How long have
time.
you lived there?
37 years.
Oh, and you guys never met each other?
Well, he used to walk his dog in my neighborhood.
But you didn't know each other's names? Okay. Hey, before I get all judgy on you, I'm trying to see if I know the last names of each person in my neighborhood, and I don't know that. Okay, go ahead.
Well, anyway, on June 18th, I mailed a letter. I sent it, return receipt requested. I explained to him a letter about the broken limb. I sent him a copy of the picture of the limb, also a copy of the estimate.
Now, is the limb fully in your yard? Is
Yes,
it still attached to the tree?
Yes, it's still there. It's still there.
No, is it still attached to the tree?
Yes.
Do you have pictures?
Yes, I have pictures.
May I see
right
them?
here.
Okay. And so you learn, this is in your backyard. Did you know that this had happened?
No, I didn't.
How do you not know? I mean, how big is your property?
Because the tree is behind the garage and it's kind of like fenced off, so I don't really see the tree that's over in her property.
Okay. So this is your garage, and I'm going to send it to you. This would be her property, I think, from here down. That's your garage, and your house is on the other side of that. So the vegetation, I guess, would hide it. But didn't you ever go knock on his door and say, your tree is down? What are you going to do? You never just talk to each other?
Yes.
I went there plenty of times, but nobody.
But he never answered, not once in all those times? Were you avoiding her?
No.
Oh, so this is like, wow. So it's actually still connected to the tree.
Yes.
All right, so when did you first learn that you had a problem? When you got the certified letter?
No, I didn't answer the certified letter. I got a regular copy of the summons in the mail. They sent a copy to the mail.
But did you read the certified letter?
He never picked it up from the post office.
You never picked it up
I
from the
never
post office?
picked it up.
Here.
Why not? It's never good news?
Because I didn't know what it was.
So it's never good news.
So I didn't go and get it.
La 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 la. I mean, it goes places. Whatever the certified letter is, it goes places. All right, here's where it's going. Look at you now. Okay. And so you got the summons, and then what did you do?
I got the summons, but I didn't understand what it was. So
Didn't you
I
walk
called
out to
her.
the back?
But I couldn't see the tree. I didn't know it was the tree because the summons didn't say that.
May
It
I?
said
Yes.
something
May
about.
I open your mail that you didn't open?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. It said something about money owed for property or something like that. So I didn't know what it was. So I called her. And then she told me it was the tree. So I went and looked. I saw the tree. So I said, okay. But I didn't understand why, out of all this time, she didn't come around and just speak to me.
I don't know. Maybe you don't spend a lot of time at home because she claims
All the
that she
time.
went there a
I'm
bunch
always
of
home.
times. I mean, she wants it taken care of. So obviously she has a motive to knock on your door and try to get you to take care of this. Over the past several months, I've been trying to contact you regarding the tree on your property. The broken limb is on my property, needs to be cut down. Here's an estimate, $250, which is very reasonable. Who's the fellow next to you? Who's that gentleman? You.
My friend.
My name is Carl Case, and I'm a friend of hers.
Okay, you're just here for moral support?
Yes.
Okay. All right, don't worry, I won't ask you anything. All right, so this is fascinating because what is your theory on whether she should pay for it or you should pay for it?
She should pay for it. It's on her
Why?
property.
Because it's
The
on her
tree-
property.
the tree
But
limbs
part
is
of
on-
it's on your property.
The part of my property I'm not worried about.
What happens if somebody is walking on her property and the part on your property comes down and kills them?
But there's nobody walking over there. It's in the
How do you
backyard.
know? It's her property. She can walk there if she wants.
She can, but she could see the tree limb.
So
won't-
she shouldn't. So
Yeah,
you
she
should. You should be able to have this hazardous condition right over her property, and she can't use that part of the property because it's not bothering you. It's just bothering her.
So whose responsibility is it to cut overhanging branches? The tree owner or the person who lives on that property?
I would say it would be the tree owner. I mean, the branch is part of the trees.
Fair enough. You agree?
Yeah, I totally agree. It's their tree, so they have the right to cut it down.
Who thinks it's the person who owns the property? What do you think?
I do, because if it's hanging on my property, then I have the right to cut it down.
Yeah, but you
part of
didn't.
it.
You didn't grow it. The other person did. Going inside the courtroom.
She's entitled to trim anything on her property that she
absolutely.
wishes.
Listen, you're talking to the converted here. I say this 200 times a day that if it's on your property, it's bothering you. A healthy tree limb that is going over on her property is tough for you, honey. If it was a healthy tree limb growing onto her property, you're entitled to cut anything up to the sky, but at your cost. I do it all the time. I cut things up to the sky on both sides of my neighbors, and and it's my cost. I don't bother them. They don't bother me. They don't get mad at me. I don't get mad at them that I have to pay for it. That's the law. This is different. This is you having an incredibly hazardous condition on your property for 8 months. They bring it to your attention and you still refuse to do something about it. And your answer is, it's not hazarding me. I can't even see it. You've got to take care of this. It is your responsibility. What kind of a civilized world would we live in if we let people have hazardous conditions on their property that they get to ignore because it's not going to bother them, it's going to bother somebody else?
My contention is this. If she wants to cut the limbs off that's on her property, it's no more hazard.
And now let me
There's
tell
no
you something.
hazard.
She can't, it is a hazard.
It's no hazard
No,
if
I'm
she
telling
cut
you
it.
it is a hazard. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm looking at where it's broken. It's broken up here. And the poor sucker who starts with a hacksaw or a chainsaw cutting down here is going to imbalance the integrity of this. And that thing's going to fall on their head. Nobody's going to cut that branch that way. The way they're going to cut it is they're either going to come in with a bucket, which for $250, I don't know how he's going to do that, or he's going to climb the darn tree and he's going to take the thing down. Either way is safer than what you're suggesting, which is that he cut from That's not safe. You have to cut from above where the break is. We're done debating this. Verdict for the plaintiff, $250 plus your court costs.
Well, the judge says it's the defendant's responsibility to take care of that hazardous condition that you're aware of. What's your feeling about that? You got that?
I don't agree with her. I think that if she, no matter what she needed to do to cut the tree off from her property, it's up to her. I shouldn't have to worry about whether she has to get a bucket.
Yeah, well, you
or
just
whatever.
learned differently from the ruling.
Well, I don't agree with it. It's her ruling, but I don't agree with
You
it.
don't agree with the law.
Well, if she says that's the law, then that's the law,
Well,
but I don't agree with
What's
it.
your message to your neighbor that you allow this hazardous condition to exist? That you don't care
Well,
about?
first of all, I didn't know it existed until a month ago, a month and a half ago, because she never told me.
All right. Okay. Just right around the corner there, your documents are waiting for you there. Okay, come on in here. How do you think things are going to go around the old neighborhood now?
Fine.
Stand right next to her right there, okay? You have any problem with him?
Yes, I do.
So it's going to be fine around the neighborhood?
No,
Yeah? What happens when you see him?
I just smile and go my way.
All right, so now that you won this case, what are you going to do? You're going to have somebody come in and go all the way up that tree and
And cut it down.
cut it down from the top? Okay. Harvey,
So if you're having a problem with an overhanging tree, write your neighbor a letter saying that it's dangerous, it's threatening your property. I'm telling you, when they get an email like that, they will do the right thing.